Greetings and salutations, I'm Keb. Welcome back to this little let's play of 80 days, where we are en route towards Cairo. The Nefertiti was a tall-masted Egyptian clipper that sailed around the coastline from Anatolia all the way to Alexandria. I asked the skipper if he had considered longer voyages via the Suez Canal, but he only laughed. The fees, young man, are quite extortionate. How extortionate? I asked. He gave me a pointed look. You will not buy me or my boat, he replied, if that is your intention. My liberty is worth more coin than you have. I nodded, and we did not pursue the conversation further. So let's see if we can talk to the captain anyway. I want to know about the route from Cairo to Luxor. The Luxor to Riyadh. Okay. Luxor to... Let's talk about Riyadh instead. And that's about it. Okay, fine. Didn't learn any new travels there. The evening drew on, and the crew served gin slings with great cheer, the captain nodding to me as the liquor was poured. Enjoy, he called, for as long as you are with us. I saluted him with my glass, and savoured the cool drink as the sun went down in fire and smoke across the sea. Have you been to Egypt before? The captain asked. It is a truly amazing place, a birthplace of innovation, of thought itself. A truly ancient and mysterious place, I agreed. That it is, the captain looked wistfully. The gin was going to his head. Did you know the artificers have rebuilt the library? I did not. What good building a new library does them, I do not know, since everything in the ancient one was lost. But it gives me hope that my country will be great once more. We landed in the harbour at Beirut just after dark. So they rebuilt the great library of Alexandria. Interesting. Let's see. Yeah, we landed in the harbour at Beirut just after dark, and you watched and you had the option to leave the ship here, by the way. And you have that when you travel through towns most of the time. But we're going to continue, because otherwise we'll have to find alternate routes and stuff. Okay. And I watched the crew unloading crates and replacing them with others. It reassured me somewhat to see others with more luggage to carry than I. Okay, let's converse more. To the captain again. Cairo to Aswan. We already know these trips, actually, because they're white. So we can learn of the route into Africa here. And what about Aswan to Muscat? Do you like puzzles? Indeed. What about Jeddah? Can we talk about Jeddah? Mecca Medina closed, but Jeddah is open to foreigners. Okay, that's interesting to know. Aswan to Khartoum. You have to go. Okay, fine. Did we learn anything new? Yeah, there is a route from Ekaterinburg down to Astrakhan. We learned that, because he just volunteered that information. I woke late in the next day, the sunshine, heat and rocking water having lulled me into a very deep slumber. I attended to Monsieur Fogg immediately. Though unlike most gentlemen, he had managed to successfully dress himself and had procured a newspaper from somewhere. The sailors were stretched out on the deck, enjoying a moment of calm. An hour or so later, they were swarming the rigging and the masts, and bringing us slowly into the bustling port of Alexandria. As we came ashore, I gasped at the sight of the towering lighthouse that blazed a beacon of incredible golden light across the water. The artificer had indeed been busy. The sailors gestured me for us to follow. Now we have the choice to stop here, of course, and investigate the Great Library, but I'm interested in pushing straight on to Cairo. It's time to just finish the route. From the port, it was a short carriage ride to Cairo, and they arrived in good time, so off the ship, onto the carriages, heading for Cairo. We're going to sell that there. Okay, that will sell for more money too. Jeddah, Bombay, and Dubai. Yeah, I am going to go through those towns. Don't need Sophos shipping tables anymore. So we're going to buy the bolt of silk. I don't think we're gonna go to Baku. And the rest of the stuff isn't really interesting. And the clock is ticking, and I completely forgot to do the most important thing, which is to check our paths ahead. That's the only one we know about. The Nile Express. And we can't even explore. Oh, so there isn't a other different route from Cairo. That's unfortunate. Okay, fine. I'd hoped there was another route towards the Red Sea, but apparently not. Okay. Cairo is attempting to modernize, following the Parisian model. The result is a mishmash of tree-lined streets and maze-like souks. Of course, the people do not care, and most certainly do not dress like Parisians. I was browsing the souk, or marketplace, when I felt a hand dip into my pocket. I turned around fast, but the little girl whose hands was in my pocket was clearly well practiced, and slid between my knees to run away. I was 30 pounds poorer. If we'd kept the elastic wallet, we might have saved ourselves that. Let's explore. Oh, I should have gone right away, didn't I? Oh. Should have gone right away. Or, no, okay, fine, so there was other routes. Fine. Spent a few hours in exploration, learning ways in which we might travel onwards. Okay. Yeah, let's go with Bosa Carter there. Oh, we can only have 3 items. We're just gonna travel there. Fine, give away the valet kit. Get rid of the engineering stuff. Me just... Ah, come on. We're on the clock here. Time is ticking. The route might expire before we click. There we go. That's the problem if you have to shuffle luggage like that. So you usually don't want to pack more than 2 suitcases. Most trips will allow you 2 suitcases. There are a few that will only leave you with 1, and a few that will leave you with 0, which are, well, at least one route where you can't have suitcases at all. At any rate, we found a private driver to take us to Suez. The journey was quick enough. The roads here in Egypt are surprisingly well maintained, and the car itself ran efficiently. I asked the driver how she kept it so well, and she smiled with pleasure at the compliment. There are many artificers here in Egypt, she replied. There always have been, of course. The guild was founded on the banks of the Nile. Is that so? She nodded. But of course, what do you suppose papyrus was invented for but to draw blueprints? She took her eyes from the road a moment to look at me. And then she shook her head and returned her attention to some extremely nimble driving. No departures today, that's fine. Bangalore, Khartoum, Agra. Warm climate. I'm going to go with the Panama hat. That could probably be useful. I don't think we're going to go in the desert, so I'm going to get rid of those things. For now. On the odd chance we'll go through Bangalore. But we did have what? Yeah, we are going to have to go through Bombay. We have 2 items for Agra. Okay, let's explore. I took a cup of tea in an extravagant little tea shop in Suez. It was packed to the brim with rich traders and adventurers, drawn to the small port by the recent opening of the Suez Canal. I was attempting to get some service despite the unruly customers, when a dark-skinned personage in an impeccably tailored but oil-stained jacket entered. I caught the well-dressed man's eye, and he came over to my table and greeted me in softly accented French. Softly accented French, okay. Olivier Lapointe, dirigible pilot, at your service, monsieur. Passepartout, valet and traveller, I replied. A traveller, then? He shook my hand. My ship, the Gamila, departs soon on her maiden voyage. Where is she headed? I asked curiously. Monsieur Lapointe sipped his tea. Not far. Our destination is the provincial capital of Khartoum in Sudan. He gave me his card and a vivid description of the Gamela. I had no doubt that I could spot Monsieur Lapointe's airship at the docks if we should desire to travel next to Khartoum. That opens up a new route. Oh yes. But I don't really feel like getting to Sudan. I want to head towards India. And that's going to be tomorrow. I mean, we could stop at any route along that way. But I think that's our goal there. It's a long trip. But we can travel with 10 suitcases if we wanted to. It's a bit of a rugged trip though. Minus 32 health. It departs tomorrow at 2 p.m. So, but we could also just take the same route. In smaller limits. Oh, okay, we can't actually go to Jeddah as far as I can tell there. And no, the route to Hail is not here. You can also travel to Khartoum. As you can see, the clock is ticking, but right now I don't care. It's evenings, nothing can happen at evenings. At around 7 p.m. 7 p.m. or so, I think, the markets close, and there are no trips that travel after 6 p.m. in the evening, if I remember correctly. So now, between 6 and 12 p.m. we basically have no choice but to wait a day anyway. And until 2 a.m. you can fumble about, but at 2 a.m. you really have to seek a hotel, otherwise you'll lose health. So you have a little bit of leeway in the evenings for messing about. We'll pass the night here, right where we are, Fogg. The uniformed lamplighters lit the gas lamps as the sun set over Suez, bathing the wide avenues of the city in a smoky yellow glow. I enjoyed this city without thinking too hard about its curious existence, blooming like a flower with the desert all around. Okay, we are going to travel to Bombay. It's an expensive journey, £710. We're going to go, basically because we have the Panama hat, it's going to get slightly less health deterioration. The piano liner Magnolia. The dock was crowded with people, cheering one and another along. Let's see. There was much chatter and many embraces, as I suppose long-distance journeys must always attract. But none of the attention was for us, of course. Or now, perhaps not. I fancied I sensed a pair of eyes fixed upon us as we made our way aboard the Mongolia. Perhaps the sight of a true English gentleman is a wonderful rarity in these parts. Who can say? And that's going to have some effects, I believe. Let's see. Converse. Madame Pericleos. Good evening. Can talk about Bombay. From Bombay to... all the way to Rangoon. Fastest way to Rangoon from here is through Calcutta. Okay. How do I get to Calcutta from Bombay then? Bombay to Madras. Okay. So we learned a little bit. Rail link across India. And the ship is going. The steamer Mongolia was built of iron of 2,800 tons burden and 500 horsepower. She sailed as grandly as a duchess out of the port of Suez. 500 horsepower. And I'm stuck on that number because now there are cars with 1,000. The Bugatti Veyron, I believe. Okay, at any rate, a truly magnificent sight, I cried, watching the grand hotels and gaslight gardens of the city recede in the distance. Monsieur Fogg looked upon them dismissively. There will be many more such sights to come, for we have quite a distance yet to travel. My master, I was learning, was as unvarying as the ship's chronometers. I confess I found it comforting to serve such a reliable personage. Certainly he was incurious and perhaps even indifferent, but he was also dauntless. Without doubt, he was an eccentric gentleman upon an even more eccentric quest, yes. But he was my eccentric gentleman, and I was determined to do my duty And come what may. Better relations with Fogg. Awesome. His health is going down. We knew that, but that's okay. And there's nothing for us to do other than wait. Converse, let's see. Another traveler. Bombay to Bangalore. Okay, Bangalore to Colombo. Okay, zootrops in Colombo that are valuable in Singapore. So you get these little insights. Bangalore to Nova Goa. Okay, fine. So he let us know about a new route. We're arriving in Jeddah. Monsieur Fogg spent his days playing with Sir Francis, a tall, fair fellow who was an old India hand, as they said in the trade. It seemed Sir Francis was travelling the full distance to Bombay. Good town, he declared, good artificers too. On the evening of the second day, we approached the city of Jeddah on the east coast of the Gulf. What kind of place is it? I asked a sailor, pointing over the rail. He shrugged. I had never been. The boat sails past, but pleasant enough, I suppose. I was taken by the sudden thought that perhaps we could put ashore here. So now I have a choice, but I shook my head to clear the daydream. The Mongolia would take us far and fast. Indecisiveness was not what Monsieur Fogg would want, but there are other adventures, of course, so there are always things to find in this game. But now I'm going to try to stick to, well, more or less the route from the books again. Maybe. I befriended an extravagantly whiskered passenger who introduced himself to me as Monsieur Fix, and you might recognize that name, and evinced a flattering interest in my travels. "You're making a tour of the world in 80 days, he exclaimed, eyes wide as saucers. "It is a wager," I confirmed morningly. Gentlemen are strange creatures, and given to strangers' fancies to fill their time. Monsieur Fix looked suddenly rather shrewd. "It must be expensive business, all this travel." "My master is a gentleman," I said expressively, for I considered it gauche to discuss financial matters. No idea how that word is pronounced. Yes, of course, my companion agreed laughingly, though his moustache twitched like a pendulum. All the same, what a singular endeavour. And if you have read the book, the original book, you will recognize that Monsieur Fix is the villain, more or less, if you want to call it that tries to intervene in the travels. And you can find him a few places in the game as well. I'm kind of spoiling it here, I suppose, but at any rate, onwards. We're gonna tend Fogg. Improve his health. Can do the same thing again. Look at that praise. And what he says is going to be different depending on your choices. I mean, if you go out of your way to be a fumbling buffoon and you piss him off, it's not going to praise you. He's not going to praise you at all. Monsieur Fix was a most congenial fellow and possessed all manner of useful knowledge. I asked him what he knew of Bombay, the Mongolia's final destination. "I was stationed in Bangalore during my time in India, not Bombay," he told me, smiling. "I spent much of my time playing cricket. We colonials take the game seriously, almost as seriously as the natives themselves." Not much to do. Could still attend Fogg. These options go away if you don't click them often, so you have to click them when they show up. Click converse, nothing happened. There we go. Hello, Sir Francis. Talk about Bombay. Bombay is the gateway to British India. Yeah, that's fine. Bombay to Dwarka. Okay, no. Bombay to Aden. Very unlikely. Some of these are completely bonkers suggestions. I mean, you can't travel back. That's one of the things about this game. You can't really travel eastward. If you know what I mean. You have to travel westward around the world. Still, Monsieur Fix dragged me upon deck, saying only, "You will not want to miss this, my friend." Through the sea mist, I saw the immaculate city of Aden, nestled in the caldera of a volcano, bounded by sheer black cliffs and crystal blue sea. My God, I blasphemed, secure in the knowledge that any passing deity would forgive me, given the magnificent sight before my eyes. Perhaps your master would want to see it also, Fix asked. I could send one of the deckhands to fetch him. My master is rarely fetched, I replied, a little archly. Indeed not, remarked a voice from behind us, and I turned to see my master emerging from below decks. Monsieur Fix stiffened and glanced at my master, but with what implication I could not say. We three stayed at the rail, and when Fix went to leave, my master quickly followed. The shipping lanes outside Aden were busy. We passed close enough to other steamers to make out individual passengers taking a turn above deck. A little boy leaned over the railing and waved at me. And I gave him a calm nod. We're trying to be British here, right? And not wishing to make a spectacle of myself in front of my master. And everything like, The child looked somewhat chagrined, but Monsieur Fogg gave me a small approving dip of the head, and I was content. Yeah, I'm going to try to make Fogg happy as far as I can. I scanned the deck for familiar faces and saw no sign of the loquacious Monsieur Fix or his extravagant moustaches. Or perhaps he had disembarked at Aden. But I did spy Sir Francis. Well then, my master would continue to be well occupied. Strengthened slightly, how nice. Let's talk then. Talk about money. He's happy about that. But there's not much else to say right now. At breakfast, I saw a young bronze-skinned lady in a lilac day dress, scribbling in a notebook, her eggs and smoked mackerel untouched upon her plate. Oh my. Do we want to be bold here? I decided to introduce myself. Let's be bold. With every gentlemanly courtesy. Her eyebrows raised in a challenge. I have no interest or talent with polite conversation if that is your intent. Certainly you possess ample wit, I remarked, rather stung. So it is merely politeness which you lack. To my utter astonishment, she tilted her head back and laughed throatily. How unexpected a man who actually speaks the truth in the presence of a lady. I was saved from having to make an answer by the arrival of the lady's father, Monsieur Williamson. Eleanor, he said reprovingly, who is this man? My name is Nor, she replied firmly. And this man is a rare creature. Indeed, a fellow with a brain, not that you would recognize it, father. With that she swept away, leaving me to explain myself to her beleaguered parent. Okay. Slight character shift again. Back to superior. I think we'll hear more from that lady. Converse. Madame Pericleos. Okay, fine. There isn't much to go from Bombay. I thought we could actually get somewhere good. Okay, Bombay to Calcutta. Oh, we already know the route. Ah, okay, fine. Calcutta to Chittagong. Okay, fine. From Chittagong to Manila. Okay, fine. At least we learn a route here. Oh, she told us already, right? We got the route to Allahabad. So now we have a route in northern India. So we have a choice of where to go. And we also learned of some of the routes over in the United States. That's good. It's gonna help us in the future. I happened upon Demoiselle, my goodness, Demoiselle Williamson, Mademoiselle, or whatever it is, yeah, in the Williamson in the piano room, where she was studiously ignoring the music and merriment in favor of her notebook. Demoiselle Williamson, we meet again. The lady held up a finger to bid me wait a moment, and finished her sentence with a flourish before looking up. Oh, it is you. What are you exactly? A friend, if you will allow me that liberty. And why should you wish to be my friend? She asked, in a voice replete with skepticism. Because, you can be very flirtatious, because of the ink on your fingers. I'm gonna go the other choice. I told her, you intrigue me. Demoiselle Williamson tapped her pen against her notebook. That is acceptable reasoning. I too am given to curiosity. She favored me with a smile. I had managed to make a friend, it seemed. Okay. And that is her father. Let's talk to her. Let's see. Allahabad. Can we go from Allahabad to somewhere interesting? Allahabad to Karachi? Okay. Allahabad to Calcutta? No? Okay, fine. He told us of some new routes over in America. That's all we learned. Still, every bit helps. And speaking of, we probably should make a short break here, I think. We've been playing for a while. And I need a little breather. It is taking a toll on my voice, this. So yeah, short break. Thank you for watching.